coming right at you with question 31 from Women's Health 255 questions to get before you die. That's not what it's actually called, but that's what I'm calling it. Question number 31, because we've got listeners, we have like a fucking jam-packed episode for you coming up. So I wanted to get one of these in because it's the most beautiful list ever. Okay. What's the most random fact you know?
I take issue with this kind of question.
Mm-hmm.
It's just tough because I can't conjure a random fact out of the blue.
What if I just said, what's a cool fun fact you know instead? That, it doesn't have to be related to any topic, but like,
A fun one that both of y'all know already, but it feels random, I guess. DC and Marvel had a crossover universe called the Amalgam Universe.
Yeah.
There's a lot of heroes that are combined, like Wolverine and Batman, called Darkclaw. Pretty sick. You got the Iron Lantern.
Iron Lantern's
Wonder Woman.
My favorite.
The Wonder Woman is Wonder Woman and Storm, and it's called the Amazon.
Ooh. Oh, yeah. I forgot about the Amazon.
I think that's what she's called.
I think so, too. I think you're right.
I'm checking while y'all are thinking.
This is a cool fun fact. It's that and now I'm spacing on how to start cool fun. Okay, here we go. Tariffs don't work and are very stupid when not done correctly.
I know how the wind works.
Corel, can you teach me the wizardly ways of how the wind works?
Yes. In Junk House.
It's a psychobilly freakout!
Probably not in this episode of Junk House because we have so much shit to talk about.
There's so much. Welcome to...
Yeah, no, this is a big mega episode. Listeners, you're in luck. You're in for a good time. I will teach everyone how the wind works next time, I guess.
We are in the final week of Martin Scorsese movie madness, and it's in April. It's the first week of April.
It's the first week of April. We had stuff going on last week and we couldn't do it. But I just want to say, we've had episodes where we don't have a lot to talk about. And now we're going to have an episode where we have so much stuff to talk about. I'm not going to lie to you. Listeners, for probably the next few months, there's going to be a lot of stuff that we talk about. So,
yeah,
it's going to be a good few months for Junk House listeners. That's all I'm going to say.
That's all we can say. But do we just want to jump into Killers because we have so much?
Yeah, I feel like that starting with Killers, and then let's get Cordell's thoughts on another movie.
Let's do this.
So in classic Martin Scorsese fashion, Killers of a Flower Moon is based off a book.
What's the book called?
Killers of the Flower Moon and the Beginning of the FBI.
Oh.
Yes.
That is a subtitle, a fun subtitle. It really happened. All of this is from a book that really happened. It's sad. It's about the Osage natives to Oklahoma, I believe.
They're the Osage are native originally to Arkansas and Missouri, and then were driven out of Arkansas and Missouri and put into Oklahoma to the reservations. Also, sorry if I sounded weird there. I'm trying to fix my insulin pump tubing without standing up and being weird. Got it.
You're fine. It's a really sad movie because it's when Fielding described it to me, They described it as a similar to No Other Land, which is the Palestinian documentary.
Mm.
It's just a movie that like bad stuff happens because people are greedy and suck, and it just kind of makes you sad and mad. It's a beautiful film, though.
I think this should be a necessary watch for people. I think if this is something, if you're old enough to handle the themes in the movie, you should probably watch it. Especially if you live in America. So,
Yeah, that's the big thing.
Cordell's thinking.
Cordell is pondering.
I just had a tough time with this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. It's such a good movie, but like people do and have done horrible, horrible, horrible things.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, I don't know if you can relate to this, either of you. But you know when you're young and you start learning about like atrocities humans have committed, right? And you
Mhm.
start learning about it, and it's this big shock, world-changing perspective thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so watching this kind of movie, I agree that like this sort of thing should be required watching, because it's like, one, it's well done, but two, it's like, this is real, this is not fictional. Like someone, like people did this on purpose with malice aforethought because they thought human beings were less than them
Mm-hmm.
and wanted
Mhm.
money.
Mm-hmm.
But then you hit a point where you're aware of these things already. You already know about the atrocities your country has committed. You are already well aware of the atrocities it's currently committing. And you watch a movie like this, and it's like, ah, yes, more painful truth. Now I'm just bummed. Because I get it. I hear it. I see it. I'm aware of it. Now I'm more aware of it. I'm thankful for that. But you hit a point where it's just like, for me at least, I'm just further exhausted by the damage done that I can't help or do anything about because it was so long ago, and also because I have very little standing in the world right now, you know? That's my thinking.
I agree with you. I think the thing that makes it, because like I've had movies like that where I'm like, I feel like I don't want to be reminded of this. Like I know it exists. I already feel horrible about it, and it feels worse to just have it thrown at me again. But I think about the amount of people who watch the movie and don't know about it, that watch it and
Right.
then are like, that can't be real. And then they go and they Google it and they're like, oh, this was all real. This is horrible. And then it causes, new feelings in people of like, oh, maybe America isn't that great. Maybe we don't need to think about making America great again because we don't really have that level of great. Maybe we need to focus on doing these other things. And it creates that in people, possibly. Or
Perfect
it does the
example.
adverse thing where they're like, I'm just going to ignore it and not do anything.
Perfect example, when I saw No Other Land, there were two like older people sitting next to me, and one of the first scenes is like showing a house being bulldozed, and the lady goes, "Is this real?" And then goes, "Why would they do that?"
I think, and I do want to say, right, I personally don't want to linger on this topic or subject for very long,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but a lot of people, there's been a lot of discourse lately about like, why is our country like this? Why are people like this? And there's been a lot of pessimism thrown around of like, I think most Americans are just selfish, hateful people. And I have to disagree,
Mm-hmm.
if nothing
Yeah.
else for my own sanity.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
I think for as much as we are an educated country and a like provided for country, we are not a country that is educated on how to think or how to empathize. We've educated on how to do and excel at a specific area of life that is devoid of human empathy and connection and critical thought. And I genuinely believe if most Americans could see a little more of the world, could see what it would be like to be a person. Like, I think we are a country with an empathy sickness. And half of that is just not being, when I hear, when a lot of people hear of what goes on in Palestine or what happened to Native Americans, right? Like, when people hear that, I don't think their brains can emotionally connect to the reality of what occurred until they see it like this.
Yeah.
Which is the power of art, and why I'm glad this movie exists. Why I'm glad that no good country. What was it called?
No Other Land.
No Other Land. Why I'm glad that exists, because so many people like that woman simply couldn't process the sentence of what's going on without seeing it and connecting to it as a human. And so I think most Americans just are ignorant to what genuine empathy feels like and does to you, because it's transformative.
There's a smaller version of this that is a little easier to talk about. That it came up on my TikTok feed the other day. There is a series through TikTok, I believe it's on YouTube as well, where it's called Subway Takes. Have either of y'all seen this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So Cordell's nodding no. Essentially what this guy does, he is a New York guy. He's from what I can tell, he's lived in New York for a very long time. And he sits down with somebody who's usually like middling celebrity, right? Like, you may have seen them, but you're not going to like know them,
Aware
John
of
C.
their
Reilly
existence.
has been on there.
Yeah, John C.
Like,
Reilly.
as an example.
Where it's like,
As an example.
yeah.
Right, okay. Yeah.
And then he will hold a microphone to them and he says, "What's your take?" And it's just, "What is your hot take?" And the other day, I saw it's a comedian who I cannot remember his name. I'll find it and maybe we can edit it in or whatever. But he said,
we won't.
He said his take was, everybody not from the South needs to spend 2 weeks in the South a year.
Ooh,
And
a year.
A year, 2 weeks a year. And the host said, "Absolutely not. Are you crazy?" And he said, "That's the problem. You think the South has no fun places, no good people, and everything sucks." And he's like, "Yeah, that's because that's true." And he's like, "No, it's not. And you don't know that." And he was like, "Yeah, I guess like go to New Orleans." He's like, No. You're not going to New Orleans. You're not going to Nashville. You're not going to Atlanta. You're going to the South. Go there, see the people, eat the food, and do all that." And the host was instantly just like, "No, well, they need to come to New York. They need to come to LA." And he's like, No. They don't. Because they already know what happens here. Because it's exposed to them every day on TV. All the movies, all the media, all the culture comes from here. They know it. Y'all don't know there. And
True.
it is a much smaller version of the empathy sickness that you mentioned. Right. It's a much smaller microcosm version of that, where if you've never been to the South, you probably assume all of us are racist or horrible. Or you may be like, well, there are a minority of people that aren't, and you don't realize that, like, majority of us aren't.
My experience of the South as a non-Southerner, right? As a person not born and raised in the South, was I got here and I realized, and over the course of me living here, like, do I want to move back more north? Yes. If I die below the Mason-Dixon line, I will haunt you. But
please do.
But actually, no, I'm going to change that. If I die above the Mason-Dixon line, I'll haunt you. You gotta help me get up there, okay?
Okay, yeah.
Then I can hang out after death. But
hell yeah.
A majority of people in the South, and I believe this for a majority of humanity in general,
Mhm.
are decent people doing their best and cannot see the ways their culture blinds them, because that is the nature of a blind spot.
Yeah.
No one is aware of all of their blind spots. And the South has many cultural blind spots because of our nation's history, right?
Mhm.
And so it's
Yeah.
like there are a lot of people who, I've talked to Southerners who just like didn't get a thing, right? Like it's not that they were hateful, but it's simply they were unaware of a perspective that would give them fuller insight and information. Like I think it is decent people working to do the best they can on limited information. And that's, I believe, what every human being, when it comes down to, almost every human being is. But the South gets a really bad rap because it is so behind in so many social issues that people forget that, like, there are good, wonderful people down here doing their best. And if you could spend time with them, they grow and change just like everybody.
Yeah.
I think the majority of Southerners are Theo Von. So Theo Von is a comedian who has a podcast, and if you watch his podcast, he is so quick. When some, like Hassan was on the podcast, he is so quick to be like, "Oh, I didn't know about that. My bad." Like he is so quick to be like, "Shit, oops."
Didn't realize.
And apologize
My
for
bad.
it too. Like I think that's the majority of Southerners.
And Southerners have, and again, the nature of a cultural belief is that you meet counter narratives with skepticism. So Southerners will push back and be skeptical, but if they're good, there are a lot of them that are open-minded, and when you actually like give them information, they go, "Huh, I'm gonna sit and think about that." You know, like a lot of them just simply have not had that exposure. And as much as I don't like living here, it is not because I like, I need to run away from the people and the culture. Like, no, I'm going to find good and bad people wherever I go. I just miss the mountains and hate sweating. Like, that's where I am.
As a mountain liver now, like, it's amazing.
I'm a mountain man to my core. And
Cordell's
Colorado's
also
on
a
my
mountain of a
possible
man.
places.
Cordell's a very tall boy.
I'm a mountain of a man and a mountain man. But yeah, I either want to get back up to New England or go further than where I was, because West Virginia's not New England, but I want to get back up to New England or Pacific Northwest or Colorado. Like those are kind of the three possibilities I'm thinking about for like in the next decade of my life when I'm ready to move.
Yeah, I think mine is also New England, specifically New York, in the next decade.
I could do New York State. I don't know that I'd want to do the city just because of expensive.
Yeah,
more
that's
than
fair.
New
York City is my home. New York City is my heart's home. So if I'm not there in 10 years, don't call me.
I like New York City, but I spend too much time in London to like it.
See, I had the exact opposite. I visited London, and I hated it. Air quotes, hated it.
Of course,
because it's just a smaller New York City.
See, I studied abroad in London for a semester, spent 3 months living there, walking the streets, and I got to New York and I said, this is like dirtier, louder London.
We are on, I love that.
But I enjoy both. Like, I love a big city.
London's great.
I could live there for like 2 to 5 years. I don't know that I'd want to live in a spot like that longer term.
Yeah, that's very fair.
Plus, I think my heart's location is somewhere in a mountain where I can like open a bookstore, coffee shop, and retire. Like that's where my heart wants to be eventually.
Earlier, the subway takes I was referring to is with W. Kamau Bell. That's his name.
Okay.
Just wanted to put that out there. Also, wanted to say I am a Southern kid to my heart. I was born and raised in the South. I'm not gonna lie. If I die above the Mason-Dixon line, I'll be upset.
Caleb came to West Virginia with me in college to visit my family for Thanksgiving break. And Caleb said the phrase colder than a witch's tit in a brass bra maybe 30 times.
It was so cold. It was Thanksgiving and it was snowing. What the fuck was that, Cordell?
That's normal.
That's not normal.
Caleb came to West Virginia wearing chacos and shorts and had no pants, no jacket, no socks.
Because it was Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving's supposed to be cold.
Thanksgiving is 70 degrees. Come on. That's where
You're
it's at.
objectively
Come
wrong.
on. God.
Anyway.
Okay, but we gotta move on. We have we still have so much.
Right. This
Anyway,
episode's
Killers of the Flower Moon,
okay.
5 stars for me. Honestly,
5
this
out
is
of 5.
like a perfect movie.
Will I ever watch it again? Probably
No,
not.
probably not.
It falls into the category of movie for me where it's like objectively this movie is flawless. I did not enjoy watching it. It's objectively fantastic. And
Exactly.
I would recommend it.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy the film.
Yes.
Yes, it's not a movie you enjoy.
Right. Or sometimes you watch a hard movie that you like watching. I did not like watching this, but it was
Yes.
good. And I'm glad I got to see it.
Yeah. But you also watched another movie.
Yeah, I caught up and watched Goodfellas.
What do we think about Goodfellas? What's the vibe?
I liked. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. This month did more to put me off of Scorsese than to put me on him.
I know.
Honestly, fair, because all of his movies are like brilliant, but also so upsetting.
And so
Except
like-
long. They're
So
so long.
Long.
Yes, they're super long. They're all well done, but it's like, golly, dude, we need all of this.
Yeah.
And yes, he did, but still, like watching Shutter Island and then attempting Hugo and then Killers of the Flower Moon, like Goodfellas was my favorite of the month.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had never seen it before. I've seen homages and parodies, but I'd never seen Goodfellas. I think it is incredible. I think it's very, very good. As a person with some minimal, like, clinical interaction with people in gangs, like, I can see the way, like, it's neat to watch a different culture at work. And to watch this completely different way of thinking. And like they touch on it perfectly in the movie. It's like when you're in that feels like normal. And it feels like everyone else is a schmuck living a life that's boring and dumb and bad.
Yeah.
So I liked it. I thought it was very good. I had a good time. I enjoyed watching it. I hated Joe Pesci's character a lot.
Yeah.
When he finally got murked, I was thrilled. I was waiting the entire movie for that pipsqueak to get shot because he was the worst character. Like if he weren't around, I don't think nearly as much bad stuff happens, but I also think that's kind of the point, is that the narrator never makes himself seem like the problem. Even though like he's not only a rat, but he went behind his boss's back to deal in cocaine and it ruined his life, right? Like he was objectively the bad guy when you're looking at this family, but because he's narrating it and he's the turncoat, he comes out looking pretty good by comparison. It's fascinating. I love the perspective. I love the narration. It was very good. I liked everyone until I learned they cheated on their wives, and then I had a really hard time liking any of them from then on out. Is that a feeling you both had when watching this? For the first time, like, I like these people, and then I find out they have mistresses.
I'm gonna be real.
As the single person, I didn't think about it.
Fair. I don't think any of these characters are likable. I think that is part of the reason Goodfellas works, is that you're like, I understand that this is their culture. I don't like any of them.
Okay, let me rephrase.
And again, this is real. All of this happened. This is
this is a real story, which blew my fucking mind when that popped up at the end.
Which is probably again why it seems like the narration is like, I'm fine, because he was the one that wrote the fucking book.
He was the one telling it. Yeah. But so for me, likable. Okay, likable in the sense of I'm watching a villain's story and I understand and can empathize and a little bit root for them, right? Like I don't like it's the human nature of you're telling me a story. I a little bit want you to come out okay and I want to like you. And I was doing all right on like rolling with him. And then that moment came and I said, actually, I was fine with the murder, but you're cheating on your wife. Which was a dumb moment to have. But like I'm used to murder in movies. I'm not used to like affairs.
With multiple women. Bro.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I really like Goodfellas. I don't know. It's an interesting movie. That's all like. It's one of those things I don't like. I don't like this modern. It's a more modern trend where we want to make the villains have empathy and make the villains relatable and connectable. I despise that. Give me a villain that's evil for evil's sake, that I don't have to be like, oh, but like, oh, they have a point. Because there very few movies do that right. And part of the reason I like Goodfellas is that none of them really have a reason for doing what they're doing that is like good. None of it's a good reason,
So I do think you modified it in the middle where you were like, a lot of movies do it poorly, because I love whenever you have an understanding of why a villain does what they do, and whenever a villain is when you can empathize with a villain, because again, I think that's how real people operate. Like most real life people, unless they have, even the ones that have like fully seared their empathy and conscience, like most people, when they do wrong, you can understand them and they think they're doing the right thing to them, right? Or there's cognitive dissonance that's interesting. I like that in characters, but a lot of nowadays is like, well, the Cruella effect of we need to make her secretly the hero in order for her to be relatable, or like
that's what I don't like.
Right? No,
yeah,
that's a dumb trend. I like a villain that you can understand on a human level. It is fun to have evil for evil's sake. But
what?
Like even you look at real life. A lot of the evil for evil's sake people that we can point out in our current political sphere, they're evil for financial gain.
Mm-hmm.
They're evil for personal gain, which isn't evil's sake, right? They're doing it for a tangible benefit, not just because destroying the world is fun. Like I don't think any believable villain just does it cause,
Well, Elon Musk, but
well, no, but he's doing it searching for money and acceptance from people, right? His entire life knowing. Imagine being so rich your entire life that you cannot trust that a single person actually likes you, right? We're watching the effects of a lifetime of that. And I'm not saying that's a good thing, but it's like, that's fascinating to watch how that comes up in everything he does.
I mean, yeah, like he, paid for that Path of Exile account to max level just so he could show it off on Twitter and be like, haha, look, I'm max level. I did this.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to buy Twitter for the memes. I'm going to do memes. I'm going to do all this fun. I'm going to name it Doge. I'm going to say I can save these cave-in victims. And then when my idea gets shot down, I'm going to defame the person trying to save these people. Like it is entirely a desperation to save a fragile ego that has never gotten genuine validation ever, as well as financial gain. But we're watching the ego override the need for financial gain. And it's fascinating. I think he is an abominable, monstrous person whose conscience is seared. He has no genuine sense of empathy anymore. But at the same time, I can understand him. And I do think that helps.
He has no sense of empathy to the point where recently he tweeted, literally word for word, the weakness of the West is empathy.
Right. Because he would love to believe that's true.
Wow.
He would love to believe that that's the truth.
America. Like, what?
And I'm gonna be real. I think Elon Musk is the type of guy, and this is something I talked about with Sammy, but we didn't bring it up with Elon Musk on the Goodfellas episode. Is Elon Musk is the kind of guy that watches Goodfellas and thinks, man, those characters are really cool and I like them.
Yeah. He watches Psycho and thinks the life is glamorous, you know? He watches Fight Club and comes away thinking dudes rock, Fight Club's cool. Like, he is that fundamentally, like he just has no genuine empathy. But the point I'm bringing up is in no way to defend him, and I don't want that to actually be what anyone might walk away from this thinking. I naturally search to understand people and their behavior because every behavior makes sense in context. Every behavior you can find a reason for. Every single one. They all communicate something. So I like understanding that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm a fan of the villains in that case where it's like understanding them makes them scarier.
Yes. Because it's, I do evil just because I hate poor people. Not interesting and not true, right? Mm-hmm. But I do evil because I'm desperate for more money, but more than that, I'm desperate to be likable and loved without knowing how to have genuine human connection. That is far scarier because the crash out from that is more devastating when you have that level of resources.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think that's why I choose to believe Elon Musk just hates every poor person and hates everyone. I choose to believe that because thinking about the opposite is honestly, I feel anxiety and panic attack coming in just thinking about the opposite.
Yeah, but I try to live in reality as best I can, and for me, I have to face that down. And I'm not saying you're like trying to like live in fantasy land, but like I have to face that down and name it. Otherwise, it does creep up on me and that anxiety as well.
Yeah. I think it's also like I guess this is something I just kind of believe in general, and definitely in today's political climate. Believe what you need to survive, and or think what you can, as long as it's based in some sense of reality. Like if you think Trump is a golden god and he's saving America, I fundamentally disagree with you. But like that's something. That's just craziness.
That's between you and your God, honey.
That's between you and your God. But like, if you like the same way, like if somebody tells me if I pay attention to what's happening politically, it stresses me out. Don't worry about it then. Don't worry about it if it stresses you out too much, because like there's too much going on right now. There is. And yeah.
Speaking of too much going on, do we want to jump on over to the happy conversations? Was there anything else we needed to say?
No, and like there's a tie in here, so I was about to switch over to that anyway. Yeah, but like right now, there's a bunch of tariffs going in place that are making things more expensive. Like, let's be real, Nintendo Switch 2 and the Nintendo Switch 2 games are getting more expensive, in part due to tariffs. And that's the reality we have to face. And it's not fun. It's not good, but there's also some underlying factors. I reached out to friends yesterday, post Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, and asked them if they're going to get it on launch. I reached out to about 10 friends plus my brother, asking if they're going to get it on launch. And why or why not? And I have the reasons written down. Just a little survey.
Okay.
So what do y'all want to know more? Why people are going to get it or why not?
Start with not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not is the number one reason is price and cannot justify the cost.
Yeah.
Especially with emulation being so powerful, people are saying the number one thing is like people are like, I'm really excited for the GameCube online, but I can emulate those games and have that be free. And I think that's perfectly reasonable. And they're like, none of the launch titles look exciting to me personally, so I'd rather wait. Is the other reason. Is like I'd rather wait till a new Zelda, like a mainline Zelda, or a new Smash, or something like that. I think those are perfectly reasonable things. It is more expensive. It is more expensive. I did some research. Did you know Nintendo is the only video game company that sells consoles on a profit? Every other company sells consoles at a loss and sells the games at immense profit.
Huh.
So your PlayStation 5, it's got all those cool specs and stuff. They're selling that at a loss, even though it's like $600.
So most companies use the console as a loss leader because they know you will spend more in the console on games that cost less to develop.
Exactly. Nintendo has been the only company that sells at profit pretty much since the N64.
Is that because their hardware is so cheap, basically?
The hardware is a lot cheaper, which a lot of people are like, man, Nintendo's so far behind. And it's because they want to make profit on consoles, so they use technology to make it at an affordable point. Because if they did the full PS5 level, PS5 Pro level technology, we'd be looking at an $800, $900 console for them to be able to sell it at profit.
Okay, yeah.
And so considering we've got tariffs going on, plus Nintendo is the only company that sells at profit, it makes sense why it is as expensive as it is. And I'm not going to lie, if you compare the Switch 2 tech specs to a Steam Deck, it's still good. Steam Decks are sold at a loss as well. So like, even though like a Steam Deck may be a little bit cheaper initially. Actually, Cordell, how much was your Steam Deck with like a dock?
Let
and
me
everything.
tell you, friendo. So I did purchase games along with this Steam Deck order.
Okay.
But I did it through PayPal. 1 second.
You good? Because like I think that like
the cheapest option looks to be $400.
Right. If I recall, all told, we were like $600-$700. But let me hop in here and look.
So
at 50.
Thinking about that, if we're looking at
$787 for like, if I had to get, so I got the OLED with like 512 gigs of storage, and then the dock, and then like $70-$80 worth of games, I believe.
Okay. So if let's think, I'm trying to think of like how much it would be just for
generally the Switch 2 having 512 gigs of games, or 512 gigs of storage innately, and coming with the dock, and coming, like, say it's 450, right?
Mm-hmm.
Steam Deck.
Switch, I think Switch 2 has 256.
256 gigs.
256? Okay. But that's base level Steam Deck
Still
too,
not bad,
right?
yeah.
Like the unmodified Steam Deck is 256 as well. So I think Switch 2 represents a closer leap to other consoles overall. Even though it's still behind in most metrics, it will be light years ahead for Nintendo games. I think the comparison game doesn't work because Nintendo has never tried to be what other companies try to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally, right, even looking at the price tag of $450, like a Switch for $300 felt reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I genuinely feel like what is on the Switch 2 is at least worth an extra $100. And I'm comfortable with that $50, just knowing that life is more expensive now than when I bought my Switch.
Yeah, when you think about inflation and think about,
I do not find the console to be unreasonably expensive. It is the $80 price tag on games.
Yes.
$90 for physical. As a physical game collector, as a person who likes physical media, I think I may almost exclusively do digital on Switch 2 if prices are like that consistently. I think it's just digital for me.
They got at least $80 out of me because I need a physical version of Kirby Air Riders.
It'll be $90. If the pricing
90.
So Mario Kart digital 80, buying physical 90.
Why?
That's the part I don't. I feel like there's got to be
it's
reason.
more expensive. Let's be like, it's more expensive to sell somebody the physical thing than it is to sell the digital.
That is just $90 worth.
I mean,
I would just
if the base game is $80, think about that. $10 is you have to ship it to America from. Let's be real. It's probably Taiwan, Singapore, China, or Japan. Then there is the cost of getting it into port, which that's my job. Like, that's my actual job that I work, is getting stuff into port. It's mega fucking expensive. It is honestly ridiculous. I have to spend company money to get stuff into America, and it's ridiculous amounts of money that I every night think I will never be able to touch this amount of money in my life, in real life, for myself.
Yeah.
And so knowing that, plus the truckers to get it to places, then you're actually paying for the chips. It's the chip itself in the thing, the case, all of that. It adds up to a lot.
But why is the digital game with none of that $80?
And why?
That's the question. See, the physical copy costing more makes sense to me.
Yeah, if the game were 60 and the physical were 70, I'd bite that bullet.
That's fine.
Yes, that's fine. Yeah. That's the thing. I think
I'm looking at physical
base price
copy.
is stupid.
I'm looking at physical copy prices for other games, and they're all 60 for other consoles, and they're all 60. Nintendo is just like, hey, we're Nintendo, so we're gonna put a premium on it because of the name.
I'm worried this is signaling the entry into $80 to $100 for a mainline game world. In which case, I will kind of stop playing.
I think it's going to depend on the title. I think it's really going to depend on the title because, think about Grand Theft Auto 6 is supposedly coming out in the next year to year and a half. Because there's probably going to be another delay. Let's be real. I fully anticipate GTA 6 base price is going to be $100 to $120 because they know people are going to buy that. And it's going to be a huge game. And when you think about the amount of hours you can put into it, over time, the cost to enjoyment ratio and time spent ratio starts to make a little bit more sense.
Yeah, because when you girl math it, I hear you. It just feels absurd.
I mean, I'm not saying that it's not absurd, but I'm saying it does because I put in for a pre-order for the Switch plus Mario Kart World bundle, and I did that because I did not want to pay $80 for Mario Kart World. I'd rather have physical as well. I don't want to pay $90. I'd rather just pay an extra $50 and get it. But when I think about if I did have to spend $80, I'm like, well, you know what? I'm probably going to get a couple hundred hours of enjoyment out of Mario Kart World. Because I'm the type of person that if you give me an open world that I can just drive around, I can spend hours just driving and I'll be happy. I'll be good with that. So give me an open world Mario Kart? Hell yeah. You mean I can use items and drive around? Hell yes. This is even better. This is good.
Yeah.
So it starts to make sense for me, but I also have to do that or else I'll go crazy that I'm spending $500 on something. So
yeah.
It is all cost benefit. You with things getting as expensive as they are in general. You do have to look at an investment perspective for almost everything you buy, which is garbage. But it's it's the same math for a season pass or for anything. So I agree with you on a fundamental level, right? With how expensive life is, I have to consider how much time will I spend playing this game. If you can get it down, say you spend $80 an hour. Well, not $80 an hour. Say you spend $80 hours playing new Mario Kart. At that point, you've reached $1 an hour. That is worthwhile. But like, I'm probably going to have to do colder, harder math before I buy any games now. Like, if Pokemon ZA is $80, I'm gonna have to bite that bullet, and then I'm gonna make sure I get at least 40 hours into it, because that's $2 an hour. You know, like that's the kind of math that I think you have to do buying video games moving forward. That being said, though, I'm very excited.
Yeah. I think that's the other part of it is I think it's not going to be every title. I fully think Kirby Air Riders is going to be $59.99.
It better be.
It better be. Then I can buy 2 copies.
Yeah, exactly. That's it's like, I feel like it's going to be a case of what is the title? Let's go from there. It's like a new Smash is probably going to be a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
A new Zelda will probably be a bit more expensive. There's stuff like that.
We knew that a lot was going to happen and be talked about in this episode. I believe a curveball has just been thrown at us. The Marvel Rivals Season 2 trailer uploaded this morning.
No way.
Like just now?
Like within an hour.
Oh my
God. Can one of you stream it? We all watch together and then we chat about it for a minute.
Yes.
Hellfire Gala.
Yes, another curve has been
we're doing
thrown
the
at us.
Hellfire Gala?
All right,
Yep. Okay, here we go.
Oh my God, live reactions.
This is crazy. Okay, here we go.
But real quick, Kirby Air Ride's coming, and I'm going to buy so many of them. And if they make a Kirby Air Ride amiibo, I'm gonna have to fucking spend money on the amiibo, and I'm so fucking excited. But I'm
Samantha.
We're gonna talk about that after this Marvel Rivals trailer.
I wanted to at least give you 10 minutes minimum to go off and tell us everything. I was a little worried we might have to wait till next episode because I want to give you that time.
We're gonna watch this and then Kirby Air Ride.
Yes, Air Riders will be after the Rivals watch.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Okay. We're starting.
Emma Frost.
Emma Frost
immediately.
Please be Vanguard.
Oh my God. Oh my God, she's gorgeous.
Awesome.
Krakoa?
Wow.
Yep, they're on Krakoa.
Showing probably a hella new skins.
Oh yeah. A lot of Hellfire Gala skins.
Mother. Oh my God.
Everyone's
Was that Jubilee?
Oh. Ultron.
Ultron. Wait, Emma Frost is the leader?
She's led a couple teams in the comics.
Yeah.
Putting them into an
sick.
X was awesome.
Wow.
So Ultron looks to be the baddie.
I cannot wait to be an Ultron main. I'm gonna be so.
Damn.
Oh wait,
he's
that's
a strategist,
really
right?
good. He is supposed to be a strategist.
I'm a little. Do we know which two? Is it Emma Frost and Ultron dropping this season?
I think it's going to be Emma Frost.
I'd heard
Ultron.
Blade was getting dropped this season because he was around.
That's why I'm kind of confused because he was supposed to be there. Maybe he's next season. Maybe that's.
I mean, this season dropped 4, so he might be one of the 4. They might do 4 again.
Marvel.
If
Rivals
they keep
season
doing 4, that's going to be
characters.
such a big. That's going to be a crazy.
A huge roster. Also, why did they give Emma Frost? I mean, I'm not mad about this, but why did they give her Chun-Li thighs?
They knew what the people wanted, I think.
They knew what people wanted. Yeah,
that's what makes her a Vanguard, right?
Yes,
because she is a
legit.
thick mother. She is a thick mother in this.
Okay, there's no official announcement, but the main speculated heroes are Blade, Ultron, and Emma Frost. I thought they were going to go back to doing 2, and that's why this season was a mega season, because they did 4 over the span of 2 seasons worth.
If they don't do Blade, then that adds most likely 1 Vanguard, 1 strategist.
Right, because
I think that's good because the balance is not there for how many.
Yeah.
No, we need, and I'm as a strategist main, really as an Invisible Woman main. But like, I want more strategists in this game. But yeah,
Same.
so that's thrilling. You might get me playing Vanguard if Emma Frost's kid is good.
Yeah. But it's time.
Yeah, Sam Bama.
So we were watching the Direct yesterday, and there's the trailer for Kirby Air Riders, and starts out with Kirby with a warp star falling, and Kirby keeps on smacking into it. And I think I said it out loud, but I was like, "Oh, new Smash!" Like I
Right.
was there's no way in my mind. This Kirby Air Ride, the first one, came out 23 years ago. 22 years ago. It came out in 2003, excuse me.
Yep.
So I was like, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. It's a new Smash. Cool, whatever. And then the fucking boosters pop out.
Yep.
And I don't know if Discord cut me out, but I literally screamed no.
No, I heard you.
And then when they started falling and showing the course, I screamed at the top of my lungs.
Mm-hmm.
My roommate Hudson was like, "Are you okay? What the fuck's going on?" And I said, "New Kirby Air Ride." And he said, "No way." Kirby Air Ride is my favorite game of all time. I've said it multiple times to everybody who knows me, and I'm going to be fucking annoying about this game
Good.
so much until it comes out. I'm so fucking excited. The speculation is here, is everywhere. Probably new city trial maps.
Oh yeah.
Which is the reason you play Kirby Air Ride.
That's what it's all about.
The racing is fun. And I think I like it more than Mario Kart.
Yeah.
You don't play Kirby Air Ride for the racing. There's probably going to be new legendary. There's going to be new rides anyway.
Yeah.
That are going to be beautiful and amazing. There might be new legendaries. The competitive scene is going to be insane. Like I literally, before I went to bed last night, and Caleb can attest to this because he got like maybe 3 or 4 of them. I before I went to bed, went on TikTok and specifically looked up reactions to the Kirby Air Ride release, so that I could like cry with people and be like as excited with people.
Yeah.
Like this is at this point, this is one of the only reasons I'm getting a Switch 2.
And ZA. But you can
And
do that
ZA.
on base Switch, I guess. But it looks so clean on new Switch.
If somehow it comes, no, it says exclusively to Switch 2. But yeah, like it's
Okay,
God.
so this, hear me out, friends. I think Switch 2 could be an opportunity for us to begin dabbling a little in just streaming.
I think so.
I mean, yeah, definitely like playing Mario Kart together. If
Playing
Air Riders
Mario
has
Kart, playing
multiplayer
Air
stuff.
Riders. Yeah.
I mean, when? But like also even like the GameCube, like playing Soul Calibur 2 together, playing eventually Pokemon Coliseum together, like I'm real excited.
I mean, also like a lot of people are going to be playing it on their phones probably because that's going to make it way super accessible. But like, I'm also going to play Pokemon Champions. On Switch 2. Like that seems amazing.
Yeah.
So we will be just completely inundated in good games, and then like we'll be able to play Steam games together, do a little bit of rivalsing. Like I have long wanted. Like for me personally, as Cordell, I have personally enjoyed the idea of us pivoting more to just streaming, because a lot of what we do is just hang out, have fun anyway. And if we could just hang out, have fun for as long as we wanted, at a stretch of time where we were all available, and just whoever hopped in and out wanted to, like I think Switch 2 coming out, we could start dipping our toes in and doing a little bit of streaming. And I think that'd be a lot of fun.
What if we played some Mario Party together on the stream?
Oh, you gotta play a little bit of Mario Party together on the stream.
Play a little bit of Mario Party on stream.
And when it comes out and it's not $120, we can all get GTA 6 on the cheap somehow and stream some GTA RP.
Oh yeah. Or I think a fun
y'all
thing
would
we
like
could
that.
do is each of us has a game that we're really into that the other ones aren't. And
Mhm.
so we could do a little bit of, okay, it's my turn. I'm playing a game and teaching you one of my favorite games. Like I would do a run of XCOM 2 and just walk y'all through the glory that is that series, you know?
I forced Cordell to like Breath of the Wild.
There we go.
We make Caleb like Frogger.
Yes.
No,
I'll
that's
be doing
impossible.
Frogger streams all day.
That's not gonna happen. If they I'm making a deal right now with
Okay.
Cordell, with Sammy, with the listeners. If Nintendo puts any of the Frogger games on the GameCube online console, I will play through every one they put out.
Ooh.
Deal.
Every single one. Okay.
If they put out 3, I'll play through all 3. If they put out none, I'll be happier.
Caleb,
Also-
I will to put a little bit of potential spin on this. You can get ROMs for GameCube Frogger games pretty easy, and they play on computer. They port to computers very well. It's a grid system, like it's
It's a grid system,
and you could-
motherfucker.
So you could do that pretty easily. When we start streaming, I may lean on you and try and get you to do it, even
That's
if they
fair.
don't bring it to Switch. But at the very least, you can watch me do it.
I will possibly do it if they don't. If they
Okay.
do, I will
For
make
sure.
a guarantee that I'm
Got
going
it.
to do it though. That is what I'll say.
Yeah.
I hear you, baby. I hear you.
Before we wrap up, why don't we do a quick little thing? What GameCube games do we want they haven't shown to be on the classics
Oh wait, the ones that weren't that haven't been shown.
that
Non-listed.
have not been shown?
Okay, because they showed some that they are confirming will come, which
Right,
I'm
right,
very
right, right.
excited for. Oh man,
This is probably not going to happen. SSX on tour.
SSX.
It was the snowboarding and skiing game that had
Ooh.
Mario,
oh
Luigi, and Peach in
yeah,
it.
I remember that.
Very, very fun. Very, very fun. Kind of like a Tony Hawk Pro Skater, but for snowboarding and skiing.
Oh, of course.
Sick as fuck. I'm also looking up the confirmed games just so we have.
Right.
Yeah, tell
Um,
me.
Well, my
me
problem is Coliseum and Gale of Darkness were the two big please,
I
please,
never got to
please.
play Gale of Darkness. So
I-
I'm really excited
Yeah.
to get to play
Those
that.
are top tier Pokemon games, and I love them deeply. And so, like those coming to it, everything I've ever wanted.
Yeah. Here's the ones that were announced real quick. So we got Wind Waker, F-Zero GX, Soul Calibur 2, Super Mario Sunshine, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance.
So
Like Cordell said, both Pokemon XD and Pokemon Coliseum. Super Mario Strikers,
So
Chibi Robo, which I never played,
So
but
good.
I've
Never
heard I
played.
need to.
it's fun.
And Luigi's Mansion.
I think not surprising anybody, my two are going to be Twilight Princess, which
Okay.
launched Wii and GameCube, and I never played the GameCube version. I only played the Wii, so I'm excited for that possibility. And something, it's not going to fucking happen. As much as I want it to happen, it's not. Super Smash Brothers Melee. There's no way it's going to happen.
Yeah, that would possibly spark more tournaments, and they don't want that.
See, I don't even think it's that.
Sammy's
If-
just
if
never not going to be
original-
bitter about tournaments.
Yeah.
And that's fair. That's fair.
Nintendo sucks, and
Yeah.
they're like, we love Nintendo for this one instance,
Well, I mean,
but they're not a big fan of the not casual
Right.
gamer community of their games, which really sucks because a lot of their best games are built around competition.
Yep.
could I I want to say this because it's something I thought about afterwards yesterday, and I didn't bring it up to either of you yet. One thing I noticed about the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, the 3 people presenting it were all much younger than what we're used to seeing.
That's true.
And completely new faces to us.
Yeah.
I think we are seeing a switch in
Two?
No pun intended. But I think we are seeing like essentially a changing of the guard happening right now. And I think part of that is going to be because I don't know if y'all know this, in Japan last year, they had an official Smash tournament sponsored by Nintendo. Nintendo did not sponsor any of the prizes because they did not want to be involved in that. But they had like an official tournament with like a family section where it was more like team battles. They had like the one-on-one and they had all of it and they did it. I think we're going to see a change in attitude towards tournaments from Nintendo in the coming years. I think it's going to be slow, but I think it's going to be there. The reason I don't think Melee's coming to the GameCube Online, original Smash did not come to the N64. And I think that's really the telling part.
That's a good point.
All of my favorite wishes outside of the Pokemon games we got confirmed already, which is incredible. I do want all the GameCube Frogger games on there. But beyond that, I want the Jimmy Neutron Jet Fusion game.
Yes. Oh my God. How did
you remember that one? You remember that one?
Oh my God.
One of the best games ever made.
You have unlocked a core memory.
Caleb, I have that on my real life GameCube in my living room, and I may play it today just because.
When is my next free weekend that I can come
right,
to?
You got to come down during the midweek so that I'm off work, because I work weekends. So you got to come down midweek and we game on Jimmy Neutron. Sammy, did you ever play this game?
I don't think so.
It was like a pseudo platformer, basically. And
okay.
Jimmy Neutron sets up for his school project for class a game, like a book reader that projects the book.
Okay.
And so it like scans his favorite books are these Jet Fusion books about this super awesome super spy. His reader is projecting it when it malfunctions, and it explodes and converts his world into a blended universe of characters and concepts from his Jet Fusion book and the people from his hometown. So like you end up with Sheen as this Ultra Lord Ninja Dojo master who throws toys at you. Like it's incredible, but you have to fight through the different worlds and different levels, and in each world you find objects and build a new item that comes into your arsenal of tools to play with, and you're also finding key objects to build the way out of the level. And it's like 3 levels and then a big boss, and then you move on to the next world, and it's just incredible.
That sounds amazing.
It is top tier gameplay, and they made other Jimmy Neutron games like Attack of the Twonkies that just weren't as good. That one is just top tier. Yeah, top tier Jimmy Neutron gameplay. The Twonkies were Jimmy Neutron's version of Gremlins.
Oh, okay. Not like,
No.
The game.
Predating that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But no, that's my deep cut is the Jimmy Neutron Jet Fusion game.
Man. Yeah. Oh my God. I feel like I had another one. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. I think that was on GameCube.
I think so.
That was on GameCube, yes.
I think I might have I have downstairs my old, like, just big enough for the discs of GameCube case that had like the GameCube symbol on it, and I think I might have it in there.
How about this deep cut for any of y'all? It's the Monsters Inc. dodgeball game. You ever play that one?
Ooh.
No.
It was a little 4-player free-for-all. You were Monsters Inc. characters, and you threw dodgeballs with different powers at each other, and your goal was to have the most hits at the end of the match. And you would play in different Monsters Inc. areas, like the the Scream Center and you'd go to Harryhausen's and play there. Like, just so silly.
You ever play the Billy and Mandy fighting game?
No, I was not allowed to watch Billy and Mandy as a child.
Oh,
Same.
you would love it.
'Cause
Y'all
of
would both
death.
love it. It's
I
so
would,
good.
but I think they didn't like the children being friends with the devil. Was how my
Yeah.
parents probably
No,
interpreted
he's
it.
the Grim Reaper. He's not the devil.
That's
Right.
basically the devil.
But I think my parents thought it played too casually with the concept of hell.
But he's Jamaican. He's chill.
You're right. You're right.
You know
You
what
know who
else
else
Go back
is
in
is
really,
time and change. Yeah.
You know what else is surprisingly chill? It's Psychobilly Freak Out by the Reverend Horton Heat off the album Smoke 'Em If You Got 'Em. That's right. I listened to that to sleep.
Yo, you know what I listen to sleep? Your reviews and comments of our
Mhm.
podcasts on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We
Sammy-
would love it if you rate us 5 stars.
Sammy developed a whole software that every time a review is left, it reads it out in her room very loudly.
5 stars.
Yep.
Nobody. We also have an YouTube. If you just want to like search up Junk House Pod on there, go ahead and do that. It's fun. It's great.
Yeah,
you
we
get to see our faces twice.
We may start putting streams up there down the way. Who knows? Who's to
Honestly,
say?
Sammy knows this. I've started experimenting with recording some videos on the side, and we may start putting those up on the Junk House YouTube just for funsies. So we'll see.
And if you like One Piece, there might be
It's very One Piece centric.
dropping. Well, I'm just saying there might be another One Piece. We might be actually dropping the One Piece podcast soon. So
Soon. There'll probably be a feed
Look
drop here as
out.
well. So
yeah.
When I go to sleep, I listen to Yoga Nidra, which is a progressive guided relaxation meditation. You can email us at junkhousemmailbox@gmail.com. Tell us what you fall asleep to. Is it Land of the Lost starring Will Ferrell?
Is it Mother Emma Frost's massive Chun-Li thighs?
is it Game Grumps screaming compilations?
Is it
And
this podcast?
Like we say every week.
I'm about to send y'all. I'm about to show y'all some stuff on how to make a GameCube controller into a Pro controller, just so y'all can have that and make it actually still work with your GameCube if you want. So,
Oh, and Five Nights at Freddy's 2 trailer dropped.
why didn't we cover that?
It's a psychobilly freak out.